It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Morgan to Baxter's in trouble, there they go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 14 in season number 4 of the NOFSRL Herr's Dash Series. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the World 300. This a 40-lap race around this mile-and-a-half racetrack in Concord, North Carolina. We're glad you're here. We got a cup race later tonight in real life, but for now, we got ourselves some Herr's Dash Series racing. Not only that, it's the longest race of the season at 40 laps, and we'll be here for a little bit longer than normal here in the Herr's Dash Series. That's just going to give Eric Monaco more time to work his way from the back of the field to the front here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So, alongside Trey Wright, who's called the Coast 600 with me before, this is half the length of that race. But we do still have a pit stop, and it's going to play out very similarly to what we're going to see on Friday night. What do you need to do if you're someone like Eric Monaco, who happens to start at the back of the field for this race? What do you need to do to work your way from the back to the front here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in 40 laps?
The Charlotte Motor Speedway is definitely a very interesting place to pass here. There's a lot of passing is very rapid. There's multiple grooves, especially at this version of the racetrack. We're definitely going to see a lot of passing here, a lot of 2 and possibly even 3 wide action. So I think Eric Monaco, if he plays his cards right, I think he's going to be up to contend for this win by the time this thing rolls to the end.
Now, of course, he came from midway through the field at Homestead, and that was only a 20-lap race. This twice the length of that race we had a couple weeks ago. So we'll have to see how our points leader does, but not the best runs in qualifying at all. You might be able to see him there at the back of the field starting 40th, which is rather ironic considering the clinic he has been putting on this season here in the Herr's Dash Series. 424 points towards the championship for the driver of the number 56. Mason Brown is slowly eating away at that points lead. He's only 48 points behind, and of course our last winner, Silas Orta, who won 2 days ago at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so 57 points behind. He's starting to creep up into the picture as well. Matt Dallio, 86 points behind. He also gained on Monaco in Indianapolis, and Owen Miles, too, 96 points behind coming into this race. 7 races to go in the season for the Herr's Dash Series. Race number 14 of the season. And it is the midweek race in Indy 250 week. The World 300. Justin Lightning in the number 21 will be leading us to the green flag here today. Alongside him, Nikolai Sykes, a couple of guys who we have not seen up front that much this season in the Herr's Dash Series. Going to lead us off to the green flag. You got Alexander Rowe there in the number 3 to the inside of Zach Winkle. Number 2 of Noah Clifton, going to be starting to the inside of Jordan Lopez. We got Nathan Baird and Silas Orta in the number 16. Then Dan Park, who won at Atlanta earlier this season, to the inside of Ethan Lewis. Of course, we were here last weekend on the Roval. Now we are on the Oval. But the racing's going to be a little bit different than what we saw during the All-Star race. We had the grip set up quite high for that event. It's back to being normal here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, so they won't be going as fast, but that means that the tire wear is going to definitely come into play. And not only that, we're going to have a pit stop in this race. First time and only time this whole season that's going to come into play. Eric Monaco starting in the back like you saw. Trey, what are we going to see here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the World 300?
Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to see a lot of passing, a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing. My pick to win the race is Dan Park. Like he said, he won at Atlanta earlier this season. This track drives and is shaped a lot like the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So I think Dan Park, along with Eric Monaco, who's starting in the back, I think he's going to be in contention to win this race. It's going to be a duel between the 2 of them.
Dan Park won the World 500 last year in the Craftsman Throwback Series in a truck. Will he do it again here tonight? Glad you're here on this Wednesday evening. We're green flag racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Justin Lightning at the start of the race with a huge jump on the field. Here comes Silas Orta, who led 13 of the 16 laps at Indianapolis on Monday to get his first career Napa fan win. He's got a good opportunity going back-to-back. We'll check in on Eric Monaco. He's on the inside lane. He's already passed 2 trucks, Parker Smith and Joey Hightower in the back. We'll follow with his progress throughout the night. But Justin Lightning continuing the lead. He's going to lead lap number 2 here in the World 300.
Saw Noah Clifton. He started up towards the front, and he's already falling back on the outside. It takes a couple laps for the outside lane to get working. As soon as it gets working, that's where the interesting stuff comes in. You have 3 wide going down the back straightaway. Truck on the wall.
A lot like the All-Star race that we had on Friday night. Of course, it's a little bit slower pace, but still, you can see these guys slipping and sliding and making moves all over the place, way up on the outside wall as well. That's Jordan Lopez falling back, a Rockingham winner from earlier this season. Definitely a very interesting race. Nathan Baird has gone to the race lead as he's pushed Justin Lightning out of the way, and look at how far back Lightning fell. And up falling back 7 positions in 1 lap. But all these guys bunching up front, including Mason Brown, who is trying to gain considerable amount of points on Eric Monaco here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this is a home race for Mason Brown as well. Same for the guy to the inside of him, Bradley Ream there in number 13. Both of these guys hail from the Charlotte area. They would both love to get a race victory here in the World 300 at Charlotte.
They do. As we see Brown, he washes up the racetrack just a little bit. That outside lane has not gotten broken in yet, but as I said before, once it gets broken in, it's definitely going to be a lot more interesting.
We're going to have to see if that outside lane comes into play for these guys. They run GNS physics here in the Herr Dash Series, not CTS physics, so that changes the game a little bit more. It's why they're able to spread out a little bit more. Silas Orta got to the back bumper of Nathan Baird for the race lead, and he's going to move to the inside of the O2. And one thing that you might notice here, the camera angles are just a little bit interesting. You might notice that the cameras are like right above the racetrack in certain places. This version of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's the 2018 BBMC version of the racetrack, originally came with a completely different camera file than what you're seeing right now. What I did is I took the camera file from the Charlotte 2011, put it on this racetrack, and they're just in slightly different locations. Still really cool to see this angle. I really like it that the cars go underneath the camera like that, but hey, your pick to win. He's moving up here in the number 9 machine. Watch out for Dan Park. He's moving his way through the field looking for his 2nd win of the season.
He is. Ream, he gets stuck on the outside lane, loses a couple positions, falls back to 5th place. New leader, Silas Orta in the 16 Hattori Racing Toyota. Don't look now, Alexander Rowe, who was putting on a clinic early in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series season, he's trying to draft off that 16 to try and take the top spot.
Of course, Alexander Rowe definitely looking forward to get back into the race car for points racing in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He lost the points lead in Martinsville. I believe he's 3rd coming into the Coke 600 later on in the week, but Alexander Rowe looking pretty solid right now here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Herr Dash Series. Bradley Ream as well. Got to give a lot of credit to Bradley here in this one to the inside of Dan Park. He's up to the 4th position now, and Nathan Baird too. Baird fell back in the points at Indianapolis and not had the best of runs there at the Brickyard a couple days ago. He fell back to the 6th position in points. But he's looking to rebound on Eric Monaco in the championship here tonight. There goes Alexander Rowe with a nose to the inside of Silas Orta for the race lead.
Come to the stripe, and Orta is just going to edge him out. Top 5, put him under a blanket. Meanwhile, you have the 88, Zach Winkle. He's in 6th. His teammate in the 98, Justin Zidell, is in 7th. And then the 18, Mason Brown, been slowly clawing at Eric Monaco's lead. He's going to go inside of Zidell for the 7th position.
Of course, this is Mason Brown's last race of Indy 250 week. Unfortunately, he failed to qualify for the Indianapolis 250. As Silas Orta got back to the inside there of Alexander Rowe for the race lead. So Orta looking really strong. Dan Park going to go to 2nd. But Mason Brown is definitely racing with a vengeance now. He missed that Indy 250. This is his last race of the week. And he definitely wants to make sure he doesn't let that championship slip away from Eric Monaco. And let me tell you, Monaco is struggling. Down in 37th right now with Marty Johnson. Daniel McMillan's at the back of the field here. When we had the Roval Open last week, he won that thing. Not working out as well on the oval for veteran driver Daniel McMillan.
It is not. Almost 3 wide here coming onto the back straightaway. between the 13, the 02, and the 88 of Zach Winkle. And Dan Park, he has fallen a leg, but oh, that got tight going into the apex of 3 and 4. But they keep it together. Great driving by both the ThorSport guys and the 02 driver.
They're
oh man, that got
still
close.
3 wide. Zach Winkle, Bradley Ream, Nathan Baird. Winkle got loose there on the inside lane. Baird trying to work the outside. He's in the outside wall.
This is going to
Getting a
get
little edgy
interesting.
right there. Here comes Dan Park in the number 9. Looking 3 wide to the inside for third.
There's still 3 wide. Bear on the outside, Winkle on the inside, and then Mason Brown in the between that sandwich of trucks.
Mason Brown has to be careful not to get involved in an accident here. These guys bunching up, and they're allowing Silas Ord and Alex Inero to just pull away with this thing. Mason Brown got loose through the middle, and I think we're starting to see the tire wear come into play here because the grip, like I mentioned, is not as high as it was last Friday night with the All-Star race. So the tire wear is going to be much more significant here, and it's going to be a little bit harder to maneuver this racetrack with worn tires. Meanwhile, Alexander Rowe and Silo Zorda have checked out from the rest of the field. It was actually a Phoenix in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, the second race at Alexander Rowe in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series this season. Silas Orta finished second in that race and almost got to Alexander Rowe but couldn't quite get to him. I'm pretty sure Silas Orta does not want to let Alexander Rowe beat him again, but Rowe's going to go to the race lead. He's yet to lead a lap in this race, but he's going to lead lap number 15 here at Charlotte.
And Park, he has escaped that hornet's nest that makes up the back half of the top 10. Park is going to try and run down these guys. Yes, like you said, the grip level has definitely gone down. Both the game ratings and in real life, the tire wear has definitely gone down as well. So we're going to see these guys maybe going a little bit loose, the back end poking out a little bit more in the corners, but we'll just have to wait and see. And pit stops are going to play a factor into who wins this race.
And this is a lot like what we're going to see in the Coke 600. Tomorrow night's CN Rail 300 as well. With the Turkey Hill Series coming into town. Had a great race at IRP last night. We had 5 cautions, but still a very, very interesting race there on that short track. And they're going to be in town tomorrow night for their 14th race of the season. And meanwhile, it's a battle between Silas Ord and Alex in a row here at Charlotte. And keep in mind, we're going to have a cycle of pit stops. They're going to happen past halfway, of course. But these guys want to make sure they're in position to be in a good position coming down the pit lane. Nicholas Sambadio inside the top 10 right now. Andrew Williams, great run for Andy here in the number 44 machine on the outside of Sambadio at the moment. Mason Brown kind of fell to the back of this pack there. You see him behind Mike Thompson there, running roughly around the 15th position. And Eric Monaco in the number 56 is starting to find his stride. They're now in the 25th position. This field better watch out. That number 56 is coming, and he's coming for Mason Brown as well.
Indeed it is, and we can see the outside lane is finally starting to get some rubber on the top of that, so we see a couple of drivers transitioning, coupled along with the fact that the tires are worn. You're going to be on the outside, there's more grip. So we have from a 1-lane track to a 2 or 3-lane track. It's definitely going to be interesting.
Here comes Trey Wright in number 30. How about that?
Oh, I'm the in-race reporter, guys. That's what I am.
Currently running 11th right there. It's not been the best of seasons for Trey right here in the Hearst Dash Series, but I mean, we're seeing a few guys who have not had the best of runs this season actually run up front. Row back to the inside of Silas Order. They continue the duel for this top position. But guys like Andrew Miller, we haven't seen him up front that much this season. Jordan Lopez, even though he won a race, has not been doing that well. Christian Russell, Andrew Williams, Bradley Ream has also not had the best of runs here. And we got a caution on the racetrack halfway through the race. Race back to the line, won by Alexander Rowe, and it looks like Scott Upton and our pole sitter, Justin Lightning, has damage. And this is an absolutely perfect time for a yellow. Going to give these guys an opportunity to come down the pit lane and ensure they can make it to the end of the race on fuel. A tough break there for Justin Lightning. Had high hopes coming into this race, starting on the pole position and everything. It's not going to end too well for him here tonight at Charlotte.
Oh, it is not. A lot of front-end damage on the front end of that 21 truck. I don't think he's going to be able to continue on. Like you said, perfect time for these guys to come down. This is going to be the money stop, but it's not going to be decided all on pit road, as these guys are going to have fresher tires than they were, equal tires, excuse me. but a lot of it's going to be done on the racetrack. And do we see strategy? That is the question.
This is the only time this season that the Herr's Dash Series will have pit stops, so this is an extremely critical moment for these guys. They don't normally have pit crews, but we're leasing them from the Turkey Hill Series and Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Of course, all these guys, most of these guys, I should say, race in one of those two series. Alexander Rowe there, first driver to come down the pit lane. I'd imagine it's going to be a 4-tire stop for everybody. They were sliding around like crazy there. But it does appear that we're going to have contact on the pit lane. Silas Orta got caught up there with the number 2 of Noah Clifton as Justin Zidell wins the race off. Good run there for driver number 98. And you got Alexander Rowe second, Silas Orta third. He might have some damage as Clifton came down on him there. Nicholas Samadillo and Nathan Baird round out the top 5. Well, some action on the pit lane there. Matt Dalio.
Oh, Dalio.
He's still on the pit lane, and same with Noah Clifton when we saw what happened to him. So, got a little bit to review here. Halfway to the World 300 at Charlotte in the Herr's Dash Series Season number 4. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night here at Charlotte. And we were mentioning these tires and these guys losing some grip in the racetrack. So, well, that is exactly what happened to Owen Miles off of turn 2. My goodness, he slid right in the Scott Upton. And Upton had nothing he can do there. He tried to save it, hit the outside wall. The back end went around on him, but just couldn't save the 0-0. Came back down on Marty Johnson and Justin Lightning and actually fall into the back of the field. And then he got hit very hard there by, who was that? Ryan Durrani in the 96. Let me see, Scott Upton rear-end the thing into the inside wall there where the pit road opening, or should I say not the pit road opening, but the opening is to the inside of the racetrack. Tough break for those guys. Justin Lightning with the most damage. I'd imagine Lightning's going to be out of the race. Marty Johnson just spun around, but Scott Upton in the 0-0 has a bit of rear-end damage. He should be able to continue, but I don't know if they're going to have a shot at winning this race here at Charlotte.
Follow along with Owen Miles, just gets way out of the groove. And slides up into the 0-0. 0-0. Unfortunately, the 52 and the 21 unfortunate bystanders caught up in this. And Lightning definitely got the short end of the stick. He's fortunately not going to win this race. Might not even be able to complete this race. But tough break for those guys. And tough break for a couple guys on pit road. We saw some contact on pit road between the 16 and the 2. And Dan Park got held up. So that's going to some new faces to the front. To see who can win the World 300.
Gonna be interesting to see how it all goes down. New race leader is Justin Zidell, won the race off the pit lane. Let's see what he does on the restart here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Herr's Dash Series. Back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Justin Zidell leading the field. Got a good night ahead. Got some racing here on the NOFSRL side. Got some racing in real life. Looking forward to that 500-kilometer race in the NASCAR Cup Series from Darlington. Love that track. And I love this track too when it comes to Enter 2003 Charlotte Motor Speedway, one of my favorite tracks in the game, and this is a great version, the 2018 version, of course, thanks to my good friend Marty Zakela for putting all the logos on here. You got the Coke 600 logo, our Coke 600 logo in the infield there, NOFSRL logo, Chick-fil-A Cup Series logos. Of course, he's got his New Era Cup Series logos on the wall too. So many logos on the racetrack for the NOFSRL. Thanks to Marty Johnson for putting that all together. Justin Zidell, Alexander Rowe, Silas Orta, Nicholas Samadillo, and Nathan Baird. Top 5. Here we go. We're back to racing with 16 laps to go in the World 300 in the Herr's Dash Series.
You can see a couple
to the inside.
Video is another cat you should watch out for here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He knows his way around the 1.5 miles, but he's going to get caught in the sucker hole between the 02 and the 16. There goes
Alexander Rowe to the inside for the race lead as Silas Orta falls back. But Rowe looking strong here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He might be the guy to beat here at the World 300. Great run through the corner there for Alexander Rowe.
We'll take the top spot back. Here comes the 02. As we look through the field, Mason Brown, he got caught up in a couple of things. We got a hornet's nest in the back here.
And that's Eric Monaco trying to close his way through the field in number 56, and he's closing in on Mason Brown as well. This is definitely going to get interesting. Will Monaco finish ahead of the 18 and pull that point gap away a little bit more? Of course, Silas Orta is also ahead of Eric Monaco, but he's starting to slip up there. as we got a battle for the race lead. Nathan Baird to the inside of Alex in a row for the top position.
He's going to get side draft off of the 3 truck just a little bit. That's going to allow Zidell to try and side draft off of the 3. Baird back to the point here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Look now, here comes the 45.
Yeah.
Of Jordan Lopez.
Oh boy. Andrew Williams sliding up, almost got in the Andrew Miller there. We see those guys, and we saw it in the All-Star race as well. They just slide up there off of turn 2, and sometimes they hit that outside wall. Sometimes. See Zidell getting loose off the corner there. Rowe fell back. Bradley Ream, Nicholas Samadeo closing in here. Got some new faces up front here in the World 300. Nathan Baird leading the race here at Charlotte.
Never count out Nicholas Samadeo, Mr. Edge as he's known on Napa Fan. Can he edge out yet another win to add to his total?
We'll have to see if he can do so. And yeah, I saw that too, as Christian Russell back in there has been falling back. Monaco's fallen back as well. He is down in the 26th position now. And Mason Brown starting to pull away a little bit more from the 56 machine. Of course, drivers out of the race include Justin Lightning in the number 21, but a lap down, Matt Dahlia and Noah Clifton, they had issues on the pit lane. Tough break for Dahlia, who was still in this championship hunt in this race. He might lose a shot at the championship after the end of the night. Tough break there for the veteran driver. Nathan Baird, though, a Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion leading this field. Jordan Lopez, Bradley Ream. Here comes Justin Zidell to the inside of Alexander with help from Nicholas Samadeo. Zach Winkle's also up here. Mike Thompson. Just a couple guys outside the top 10, just inside the top 10 today. Mike Thompson, Trey Wright, Andrew Williams. See how it all goes down for those guys. But they're all chasing Nathan Baird here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with 10 laps to go in the World 300.
I think the tire wear is definitely going to come into play as we see a couple of side-by-side racing, and these guys want to catch up to these top 3 who are in the process of checking out. They're going to need to get single file. Samadeo has escaped from those guys. He's going to try and get the draft off of these guys as, is Winkle and Wright, as Wright goes to the inside of Winkle, and Baird continues to lead here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And you mentioned at the top of the show when you picked Dan Park to win this race how this track is similar to Atlanta. It didn't used to be as close, but now I think they're a lot closer. Charlotte's playing a lot like how Atlanta did back in March in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. These guys are kind of sliding off the corner. That happened a lot at Atlanta, and we're getting this spread out type of racing, but they're able to make passes very easily here. And how about Jordan Lopez? It's been a tough season for him here. However, he broke a over 3-year losing streak on Napa Fan in this series at Rockingham about a month ago. And in the same state, we'll have to see if he can do it again at Charlotte. He's right behind Nathan Baird, but Baird looking solid right now in the 0-2 with 7 laps to go in the World 300 at Charlotte.
Speaking of Atlanta, guess who's a former winner at the track? Nathan Baird in Season 8 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series last year.
Exactly.
So he knows his
how
way
to get
around.
it done at these types of racetracks. And it's no surprise to see Baird have a strong night. I mean, he's been having a strong season as well. Didn't have the best of runs at Indy a couple days ago, but this has been a strong run here at Charlotte. 6th in the points. He'll move himself back inside the top 5 if he stays where he's at. Meanwhile, fall back in with the Monaco and Brown situation. My goodness, these guys are all over the place in the back of the field, and Monaco's just stuck in all of this. And Mason Brown has slowly been creeping in on that point lead by Eric Monaco. A few points each race since last week at the Charlotte Roval. And if things stay the way they are, it's going to be the same situation. He's going to gain a few points on Monaco, but that's about it. But Mason Brown has fallen back quite a bit in this race. Tough break for him. But Jordan Lopez, I think it might be between Lopez and Baird for this race win. We've got 5 laps to go in the World 300 at Charlotte.
Lopez is going to get a good draft off of that 0-2. He's going to try and peek to the inside. Meanwhile, Samadeo and the 13 of Bradley Ream, they continue to jockey for position as Wright and Thompson battle for P5.
Great run for Mike Thompson in the 28. Of course, another great run for Trey Wright. One of the best runs for Trey Wright all season. Here comes Lopez. He might have it this time, and now they're single file for 3rd. Nicholas Samadeo might be able to close in on these guys. But to the inside for the race lead, Jordan Lopez and Nathan Baird. They're side by side, coming to 3 laps to go at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Lopez is going to lead it at the line. Bonus point for the 45. Sam Medio's going to close in here in the 97.
I don't think he has him cleared just yet. Now he does. Now what does Sam Medio do? Sam Medio, I think, is going to come down to the top 3 trucks. Actually,
Mike Thompson and the wall back in there. These guys have been battling the past few laps. Trey Wright and Mike Thompson keep on going after it. Nathan Baird might get a run back to the inside of Lopez. Here we go. 2 laps to go in the World 300 at Charlotte. Somebody's on the pit lane. Blowing up. Keisha Boyd, and we also got Scott Upton there. Couple guys who have had issues so far in this event. For the race lead, Nathan Baird to the inside of Jordan Lopez. Here comes Sam Adia to the inside for second as they come to the white flag in the World 300 at Charlotte.
Jordan Lopez is going to have 4 more corners to try and pass that out too, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it unless he gets right on the back bumper of Baird. White flag in the air here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Nathan Baird got back to the inside of Jordan Lopez there. Lopez going to have one more shot. He's going to really arc it through the corner and get to the back bumper of that 02, but he went a little wide off there, and Sam Medio's going to go for second in the 97. I think that's going to seal it. This isn't a surprise at all. Nathan Baird, one of the best drivers on Napa Fan, a Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion, is going to get his first win of the season in the Herz Dash Series, and he's going to win during MD250 week. Nathan Baird wins the World 300 at Charlotte.
How about that for Nathan Baird? Another cap in the... Excuse me, no, that's not how the terminology goes. He gets another 1.5 mile a quad oval win. Let's put it at that. So, congratulations to Nathan Baird on running this... winning this exciting race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the longest race of the season.
Nathan Baird wins the crown jewel event of the Herz Dash Series season number 4. Nicholas Sam Medio, Jordan Lopez, Bradley Ream, and Mike Thompson edged out Trey right there for a top 5 position. Mason Brown in the 18 finished in the 18th position, and Eric Monaco finished 20th. So, a little interesting what happened there. Had a few guys come down the pit lane near the end. I saw Marty Johnson coming down there at the end of the race. Ryan Durrani, you saw him spinning. I think he also came down. I don't think they ran out of gas. I think they just had issues, and we also saw Scott Upton, but they were all involved in that accident that we had earlier on. So, no surprise to see them have that issue. But Nathan Baird, your race winner here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Nicholas Sam Medio, Jordan Lopez, Bradley Ream, and Mike Thompson. The top 5. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. And Keisha Boyd actually had a valve issue. Tough break for her. And then you see the rest of the drivers go a lap down in this race. Marty Johnson, Ryan Durrani, Matt Dallio is going to definitely fall in the points after that one. Noah Clifton and Scott Upton as well. Silas Orta ended up finishing below Eric Monaco, but Mason Brown is going to gain 2 more points in the 56. The thing is, Brown's coming to a point now where he can't just gain a couple points each race because he's still 46 behind Monaco, but this championship's far from over. Do you think Mason Brown's going to have a shot in these final 6 races of the Herz Dash Series?
It's definitely going to be a dogfight to the end. So, I think Mason Brown and Eric Monaco, that's going to be the main headline in the Herz Dash Series. Those two battling for the championship all the way to the bitter end.
Of course, Eric Monaco is a veteran, the Napa fan. Mason Brown, a rookie. It's going to be interesting to see which one gets the upper hand. Monaco has had the upper hand all season. He's been the points leader every race this season. He won the first race, so they kind of tough to knock him off, but he's had a couple of rough runs as of late. We'll have to see how the next 6 races go. I do forget where the next race is here for the Herz Dash Series, but I've been so focused on Indy 250 week that I haven't looked past the Indianapolis 250, which I'll mention again is this Sunday, May 24th at noon Eastern Time, right here on Napa Fan. That's going to be one heck of a race. And of course, tomorrow night, Turkey Hill Series here from Charlotte. Friday night, the Chick-fil-A Cup Series here from Charlotte. And then Saturday afternoon, it's the Freedom 50, the prelude to the Indianapolis 250. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Nathan Baird for winning here in the World 300 at Charlotte in the Herz Dash Series, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow for Coke 600 qualifying and the CN Rail 300. On behalf of Trey Wright, here are the points for the Herz Dash Series, and I will see you guys later.